Welcome back, crackheads, to Crackin' Cans Cast. In part 1 of our Champ series, we explored the history of Lake Champlain, shared eyewitness accounts, and analyzed the famous Monsi photo, all while I was on site at the lake.
Now in part 2, we're back in the studio to recap those stories, examine skeptical viewpoints, and to discuss the community surrounding Champ. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into the lore and give our folklore score. Let's crack open a cold one and toast to the unexplained. The Loch Ness of the U.S. Champ, Part 2. Yo, welcome back to the Crackin' Cans Cast. We're finally back in the studio. I mean, I know we've been pumping out episodes, but it has been a while since we've been in here. I think it's been pushing a month since we've been in the studio, I think. Yeah,
I think so, because we kind of recorded like boom, 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 and then worked on editing them and doing a couple other things in between.
Yeah, and the editing process took a little bit longer than I think I anticipated. It's not too bad, but it definitely, I think I had different expectations of it going into it a little bit. But we were back in the studio. How was the trip, Corey?
It was a good trip. A lot of family time. The boys, they loved being at the cabin, being out and just having the campfires, just running around. And like I said in part 1, I think I said it anyway, we were out there. Like when you're out there at night, you can't hear anything. So it was nice just kind of being remote, I guess, for a little bit. But it does feel good being back home. And I think the thing that sucked the most was supposed to be a 6.5 hour drive. Ended up being a 12-hour drive on the way home.
There's poop stops, though, right?
Oh, lots of poop stops. Yeah.
I mean, that's what happens when you have kids. You got poop stops.
And it's like monkey see, monkey do. Whenever one had to poop, the other one had to poop.
Yeah, I'm super excited when we have a full car full of potty-trained children and I get to deal with that. But yeah, so as we said in the entrance, we have Champ Part 2 coming. It was really neat to be able to, I think, kind of expand our cast a little bit, be able to do an on-location type, even though I would just sat in my bedroom. But it was fun because we recorded early in the morning. I got to drink early morning beers. And
good beer, too.
Yeah.
You weren't drinking, like, no Bud Lights or anything.
No. We were drinking a nice 7.5% Perpetual, and the best part about it was my wife couldn't say anything because I was doing it for the cast. So it wasn't like I was just an alcoholic locking myself up in my quiet bedroom away from the family. I was doing it for the cast.
For a good cause.
Yeah, that's okay then. It changes everything. So today for the beer, we brought in the same beer we had that Corey had up there.
I brought it home for you. I mean, it's not the best present because it's not the best beer, but it's still from up in that area. So
yeah,
you're welcome.
It's a taste of New York, and we'll try it. I already tried it. I don't think I'm too keen on agave, but we'll see. So let's crack in. Let's cheers. Cheers. Yeah, I mean, it's all right.
It's not like I'm going to go out and buy any more of it.
No, it's decent. I think it's definitely a unique taste. I think it's a taste you're either just really going to like or it's just not going to be your style. Me personally, I'm not a huge lime and beer
fan. No, I'm not either.
Fan. I like other fruity beers, but lime and beer is just not.
So, I mean, for like the lime drinker, this might be a good beer for you, but I mean, like you said, I mean, for me, for you, probably not our pint of beer.
Not our pint of beer. It's good though. I mean, it's beer, so it's not bad.
Yeah, it's beer.
I don't know what's the percentage on this. I didn't even look.
It's like 5 something, I think.
5 on the dot.
5.
Yeah. So, and I would tell you the city that it's brewed in, but I can't pronounce it. Schenectady. No, that is not right at all. Look it up online.
Is that in China?
Yes. Lakeside. Oh, that's the name of it. No. Frog Alley Brewing Company. Do yourself a favor and look it up because I mean, maybe I did pronounce it right.
Maybe.
I'm not thinking I did, but yeah, it's a New York beer. It's not bad. If you're into lime, you're in that area, give it a whirl. You might enjoy it. I am going to drink it because it's opening in front of me. So, yeah, I mean, it's full transparency here, you know?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, too, I was really looking forward to doing this Champ Part 1 at the lake.
Yeah.
You know, like when, I mean, I think I was already going on vacation there before we even started this whole podcast quest.
Yeah, as soon as we talked about kind of like what we were going to do for podcast, it was brought up about doing it when you were up there.
Yeah.
So that was 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So during old T-ball season.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was cool. I mean, there were some challenges in the way. It was really windy, so I had to keep holding on to my tent so I didn't end up out in the water eaten by Champ.
Yeah.
So I was trying to stay on shore, and I did. I only lost a couple things in the wind. It's all right. But, I mean, it was cool just being there with the lake behind me. You know, a couple of distractions. Like I said, there was a dog running around. There was a fat guy tanning behind me to my left. Huge guy, huge.
It was funny, like, because I can see face to face while he's doing it, and there's just like people walking across the background, which is just so different than us recording by ourselves in a garage. So that was pretty funny. Plus, there was some lady jogging past you, just distracting you and stuff like that.
Yeah, at one point, my wife, she did the old Bigfoot, like the Bigfoot arm thing going.
Yeah.
And yeah, she probably went past like 4 or 5 different times, and every time she did something different.
Trying to sabotage the cast, but we won't let it happen.
We did not let it happen.
So yeah, we got the beer, we got the setup. Are we ready to dive in to Champ?
Yeah, absolutely. Just wanted to kind of start it out with part 2 with just kind of doing a recap of part 1. Just kind of touching on some of the key points that I went over.
So we can do like how do they do it on the TV shows? In a previous episode. And that's when you go. Yeah, how's that go?
Previously on.
Yes, that's what it is. Previously on the Kraken Cans cast.
Champ, part 1. Lake Champlain, which is located in New York, used to be one of the Great Lakes for 18 days. Thanks, Bill Clinton, for trying to push that.
Billy.
But there was a big uproar because of different funding and this and that it ended up not becoming a Great Lake for longer.
My wife actually met Bill Clinton.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a couple times when we lived down in Arkansas, because that's where he's from Arkansas.
Oh.
Pride and joy of Arkansas.
Huh.
Fun fact for you people out there.
Nice. Old Billy Bob.
Oh, Billy.
So the Lake Champlain, which it starts in New York, runs through Vermont into Quebec, 120 miles long, 12 miles across at its longest point. So it's a pretty big lake. Deepest part of the lake, 400 feet, and it averages about 65 feet in depth throughout the lake, with, like I said, the deepest part being 400 feet. So it's a pretty big lake. There could be something lurking in there. I don't know. The lake's named after French explorer Samuel de Champlain, who encountered it in July of 1609. And since 1609, there have been approximately 400 plus sightings in the lake. Some reports indicate that there's been 600 plus.
So, I mean, that seems like a lot of sightings, but that's a long time though too.
Yeah.
To have sightings. I don't know. Let's see. We have the technology. To kind of do some mental math. What was the year there?
1609.
16. And how many sightings were there?
You could just do 400.
So that's like one sighting a year, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Because you look at like 600 sightings, that's a lot. One sighting a year? I don't know.
And even back in 1609, like, I assume that people weren't really reporting too many sightings because they didn't have the technology that we have today.
Yeah, they were probably still putting it on MySpace, I bet.
Yeah, they might have been.
Yeah.
And Tom was just deleting them.
Yeah. You old clods. You're not young folks like us. I guess we're actually like old people now because we're more on the book than we are anything else. Like we're Facebook. I mean, I'm a Facebooker.
Yeah.
what's the new thing? Is it Instagram? What the kids are TikTok?
TikTok.
Yeah.
There's another one too.
TikTok's different though.
It is. I've been dabbling a little bit into it, but
yeah, it's weird. It's where videos go to die, I feel like.
It gets you all pumped up. You're like, yes, we're getting all these likes.
500 views in an hour. And then
it's just done.
You check in on it like 2 hours later, and you've gotten like 6 views in the last 2 hours.
And then it's just done.
It is.
Done. Yeah. So I'm not going to really go over all the sightings that I went over the last episode. I mean, there were several pretty significant ones that I went over. The one that I wanted to just review because I thought it was the most fascinating to me was that P.T. Barnum, who was the founder of the Barnum and Bailey Circus, who in 1873 posted a bounty of $50,000 for the hide of the great Champlain serpent. And he posted that in the New York newspaper.
Yeah, which you said was the equivalent to how much in today's money?
That's equivalent to $1.5 million today.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to get some crazies out there with some pitchforks or I don't know what.
I'd be out there.
Harpoons, yeah. Yeah, that's true. I was hoping you would say about the guy that saw it and described its eyes as onions, peeled onion colored.
Peeled
it's
onions,
like are like white?
I know,
Is that how
white? He's trying to sound all dramatic.
Yeah. Its hide looked like the color of peas in July. It's like, what the heck are you talking about, you crazy kook?
Yeah, that one was... And, like, that guy, too, Captain Crumb.
Captain Crumb. Yeah. How did I forget that name?
Captain Crumb, yeah.
Captain Crumb.
I couldn't find, like, captain of what? Like, he was just the captain of, his own ship.
He's the self-proclaimed Captain Crumb. His last name's not even Crumb. It's Rogers, but he just really liked Captain Crumb because there was 2 C's.
Yeah.
Captain Crumb.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I think it was hilarious that, like, he made out all these crazy, like, little details when he was 200 yards away from this thing.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. Dude is so full of it.
Yeah.
This might be, like, right up, if you listen to our Hat Man episode, this might be right up there with the lady in the bathtub.
Yeah, maybe they're relative. Like, maybe this is like an ancestor.
It very well could be. I think her screen name was Captain Crumb the Turd. So, I made that up. I'm sorry. Captain Crumb. How did I forget that was his name? That is an unforgettable name.
Captain Crumb.
That is put to memory right now. Captain Crumb.
So then, the P.T. Barnum, the founder of Barnum and Bailey Circus, he put out, so in 1873 was when he put out the bounty for $50,000. Had no takers. Nobody found the sea serpent. So then in 1887, he posted another bounty for $20,000, which that's equivalent to about $680,000 today.
Yeah, and I mean, it makes sense that it went down a little bit. Circuses weren't as big back then. I don't know. Why did it go down so much, though? He had enough freaks there to fill up his place, or what?
You mean why his bounty went down?
Yeah, why does bounty go down so much?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you would think,
it would go up.
You would think.
Like, I want this thing now, $100,000.
Just doesn't care. He's just got so much other crazy stuff, and I always kind of envisioned him being like Willy Wonka in the movies. Especially like when you say that bounty, I don't know, it just seems very Wonka-esque.
Yeah.
Like, I need this.
Right here too. That's the article that was in the paper.
In the Whitehall Times. Man, it's even so old. They received a telegram from P.T. Barnum the other day.
Yeah.
I hereby offer $50,000 for the hide of the great Champlain serpent to add to my mammoth World's Fair show. You are authorized to draw on me for any sum necessary to assist in the securing of the monster's remain. Signed, P.T. Barnum.
It's probably how he sounded, too.
Yeah, I imagine that's exactly how he sounded, yeah. Seems like the guy.
Yeah.
Either that or, like I said, he's just like Willy Wonka and he's just super reserved. He probably sang it to the telegram.
Sang it, yeah.
I will give anyone over $50,000 for his hide.
We have to have a Cracking Cans cast musical.
A karaoke night.
Or karaoke night.
I've never sang at a karaoke night in front of people.
I have, but usually I'm about 15, 16 beers deep.
Dude, I've never gotten... I have been...
I usually crave karaoke when I'm like out and about and I'm gone.
Not me. I crave a cigar.
Yeah.
Such a worse habit than karaoke. I should probably get into karaoke. That might be able to fill the void a little bit.
I'm usually both.
Yeah. Get me a good cigarette, you know,
and a good microphone so I can sing.
I got that good baritone voice. You give me a cig and a microphone, buddy. Johnny Cash is going to be a flowing.
Ring of Fire.
I fell into. All right, that's enough.
Yeah.
We need people to listen to this.
Yeah, you're gonna chase them all away. All right. So yeah, the P.T. Barnum. I wanted to just go over that one because I thought that one was just pretty interesting. That he actually had a bounty out for Champ. And then the other thing I just wanted to go over again was the Monsey photo. So that was the photo that was taken by Sandra Monsey in the 1970s. It was 1977. Her and her fiance Anthony were out around the northeast arm of the lake near St. Albans in northern Vermont, and her kids were out playing. She snapped a photo of this lake monster and I'm not going to go over the whole thing because, like I said, I'm just recapping it, but there was just a lot of contradictions in her story, in the information, stuff that she talked about years later that I don't know what to believe. But, I mean, I can say that all the professionals that looked at the photo, examined it, couldn't debunk it, couldn't say it was a fake. So, I mean, that's what we have to go with for now.
Yeah, the photo was interesting. That was the first I've ever seen that photo, is when you mentioned it last week. I Googled it and checked it out, and it really looks like it is dinosaur-esque, that photo. But it's super interesting that nobody has been able to, we live in the world where people live to debunk stuff and make people look like idiots, you know? And 50+ years later, they have not been able to debunk that photo, you know, with all the technology we have and everything. They haven't been able to debunk it. Whether it's real or not, I don't know. The photos, there's so many things. It's like the more you look at the photo, you start to not believe it the more you look at it. I don't know. It's weird.
I know. I was just earlier today, I was just at my computer just staring at the photo for 10 minutes, just trying to I don't know, analyze it.
Yeah, you wanted to be the one to figure it out.
I did. But I'm like, no, I
We're
don't know.
putting Cracking Cans on the map today when I figure out this photo.
Yeah. I'm getting my bounty. So yeah, I mean, as of today, I mean that photo is legitimate and it hasn't been proven to be fake. So I guess that's what we have to go with.
And with that, we're ready to kick off part 2.
I left this out during part 1 because I wanted to save it for part 2. But Lake Champlain was actually part of the Atlantic Ocean at one point.
But now it's freshwater. It's not saltwater.
Now it is it's freshwater. It's cut off from the Atlantic Ocean. It's just a lake right now.
And there's no sharks in there.
It could be.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Could be. And again, I assume that the name Champlain Sea was given to Lake Champlain when it was part of the Atlantic Ocean. I assume that name was given recently because back when it was part of the Atlantic Ocean was during the Ice Age, which was around 13,000, 9,000 years ago, which was before it was called Lake Champlain. So I'm assuming that name was given more recently.
13,000 to 9,000 years ago.
Yeah, so 13,000 to 9,000 years ago, a large inlet of the Atlantic Ocean covered parts of New York, Vermont, Quebec, and Ontario. So then the Champlain Sea, was created when glaciers covering New York melted. So this was during Ice Age, the last Ice Age. So glaciers covering New York melted and created depressions in the land, which the Atlantic Ocean then filled. So then the sea, and it's referring to the Champlain Sea, was mostly freshwater because of the constant glacial melt. But oceanic creatures lived there until the land began to rise again. This process, called isostatic rebound.
Oh, yeah. Oh, geez. You should have started with that. I didn't realize that's all it was just isostatic rebound.
Which caused the sea coast to gradually retreat and shrink, eventually forming Lake Champlain around 10,000 years ago. And rainfall and runoff turned the remaining saltwater into freshwater, creating the lake that we know today. So at one point, it was both saltwater and freshwater, and creatures from the ocean lived in the Champlain Sea.
Like Champ. So did Champ adapt from being saltwater to freshwater?
We're going to get into that a little bit here, because
I might be onto something. Listen.
There's a possibility.
Listen, they're going to be recruiting me for the Champ fan club president with ideas like that.
Yeah. So I couldn't find the author of this next little tidbit I'm going to go over.
We'll just assume it was Captain Crumb.
But in
from now on, where anything that just any facts we don't know where it came from, it's like it's got to be
Captain Crumb.
Like 38 episodes from now, when we're talking about wombats invading Canada, Captain Crumb had something to do with it, and them onion eyes.
Yeah, must have been him. So an article written by somebody, Captain Crumb, from the State University of New York, titled "The Untold Story of Champ," they mentioned the idea that the 19th century was characterized by a widespread belief that sea serpents roamed the oceans, and it was thought that some had been trapped in local lakes during the previous ice age.
So, why are they not really in the sea now? Like, we don't, or what is a modern day sea serpent? Was that like an eel of some sort, or
modern day sea serpent?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Because I would think, I don't know. Me just thinking, I would think sea serpents are near the top of the food chain, unless like sharks or whales just maybe they really like that sushi rolled up and they just eat them up. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So Joseph Zarzinski, who was a 7th grade American history teacher in Saratoga Springs, New York, and an amateur shipwreck hunter, is an expert on Champ. He says that he doesn't believe in stories of 30 or 40-foot monsters and believes that it's more like a 12 to 15-foot long creature as shown in the Monty photo. He believes, as do many others, that Champ is a surviving prehistoric beast, most likely a plesiosaur.
A plesiosaur.
Yeah, it's
part cop, part dinosaur. The plesiosaur.
Yeah, you hear a siren when it's swimming towards you. You hear the siren going off.
Yeah. It really. It's no. I'm not going to make this joke. This joke is mildly inappropriate.
So the plesiosaur is it's a marine reptile with a snake-like neck and has 4 large flippers. Plesiosaurs ruled the seas during the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods, during which dinosaurs dominated the land and pterosaurs dominated the skies. The plesiosaurs varied they varied in different lengths, anywhere from 15 to 40 feet, and they became extinct around 65 million years ago.
Still, 15 to 40, 15 foot is a big son of a gun right there.
Yeah.
Like, I like how, I feel like we're really downplaying, like, and the teacher's just like, yeah, I don't think it's 30 to 40 foot, but I definitely think it could be 12 to 15 foot. Like, oh, so still big enough to kill me. That's great. That's wonderful. Yeah. I don't know why that got downplayed so much. Like, that's just no big deal.
Yeah. They range anywhere from 15 to 40 feet in length, came extinct about 65 million years ago. I think it's interesting that they lived in both saltwater and freshwater.
The serpents, or that's what those dinosaurs did?
Dinosaurs.
Okay.
The plesiosaurs. They lived in both saltwater and freshwater. They were found all around the world. So every seas around the world, they were found. They were diverse in sizes, ranging anywhere as big as a whale to as small as a dolphin.
So not as big as a kraken. Like they weren't a mile wide.
No, they weren't.
long.
They weren't no kraken.
Yeah.
Kraken probably ate them.
Well, that's probably why they went to switch
extinct.
to the.
That's probably why they went extinct.
Yes, and that's why they went to freshwater. That's the only one that survived. Is one a kraken can't get to yet, till that kraken climbs land.
So I bet you there's no plesiosaurs in the Norwegian Sea.
No, guaranteed. No.
No. Because when they're born, their parents tell them, like, you guys can swim over there, but you can't go over there. You can't go in that neighborhood.
Yeah, that's where the Norwegian sea beast hangs out. And he is super moody with a giant beak that is just going to rip you to shreds.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And guess what? If he can't rip you to shreds, he's just going to do a whirlpool around you. Yeah. How you like that?
Yeah. This was it. So the plesiosaurs also had an endothermic metabolism, which allowed them to regulate their temperature and live in colder waters than other reptiles.
So they're reptiles. Okay. So that would make sense that they have to find some way to justify a reptile living in New York. Because this lake gets cold wintertime.
Yeah,
Northern New York gets real cold. Does it freeze over?
I don't know if that's a good question. I don't know if it. I mean, I know the story that I went over in part 1 about
Captain Crumb.
It wasn't Captain Crumb. It was that. But it was when we talked about the witch, the Champlain witch.
Oh yeah.
Where that young sailor Henry and his newly bride or whatever, they sailed across in like December, and it was supposed to be like frigid temperatures.
So it was it was still water then, though. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So.
Yeah, that makes sense that there's some reason that a reptile could live this far north, because that's kind of you know how these people are that get into these creatures. They think of every way to be like, well, actually, this dinosaur's different. It can regulate its temperature unlike all other reptiles. You know, just like when the more stories you read, it like. When I dove into the Mothman, it's just like, well, actually, an intergalactic creature really could survive in West Virginia. It would be a perfect place for it. It's like, what? No. Yeah, these people get behind it, and good for them. I applaud them that they really enjoy what they're into. But I don't know if I ever heard of that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Use that term again for me.
Endothermic metabolism.
That's it, folks. I'm not going to repeat it. That's it.
Yeah. So, I think that's pretty interesting, just those facts about the plesiosaurs.
Yeah.
Because going off of all that, somehow if they didn't go extinct, they, I guess, could be still swimming in
for sure.
Lake Champlain. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I tend to have like a more skeptical view on these things, but at the end of the day, there could be something like this there.
Yeah, it's a big lake.
Yeah. It just seems weird that it's been like, because you would think if there's one up there, it's been like 400 years, so they have nothing to breed with. It's just this one. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah. It's probably a very small, like, chance it's that, but, like...
Yeah.
It could make sense.
A plesiosaur.
Yeah.
Just when you thought the cops couldn't get any scarier.
What's he called in Mexico? Policiasaur?
Sorry, no inglés. Sorry, no inglés. Yeah, the la policiasaur.
I wonder if the champ in Mexico wears a sombrero.
If he doesn't, he better have tacos. That's all I know.
He better.
The champ of Mexico.
So now let's talk about the different fish species living in the lake. And to me, I think this makes the most sense for people to be mistaken some of these fish species as this giant sea serpent champ.
I hope you're just gonna start naming fish.
A few. I'm not just gonna like over.
I thought it was gonna be like Bubba from Forrest Gump talking about shrimp. You're just gonna start naming like smallmouth, muskie, walleye. Just go on.
And I was thinking over here like Pokemon, like at the end where it's like, who's that Pokemon? And then
you're going to do the rap.
Yeah.
Gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all.
Articuno.
I hope that's how this ends. I am hoping that's how this ends.
So there are 60 plus different fish species in the lake.
Gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all.
Pikachu.
Pikachu, Raichu, Vulpix. I don't know.
So you got all your typical fish species that are in most lakes. Bass, smallmouth bass, largemouth bass, pike, pickerel, all the normal stuff you're going to find in lakes on the East Coast. Historians think champ is probably a garfish, a class that includes lake sturgeon as well, which still live in Lake Champlain today.
Sturgeon live in Lake Champlain.
Yeah.
Champlain.
I never drank any of it when I was there, though. I forgot.
What a waste. Why did you even go up if you're not going to drink any?
I know. I wanted to dip my tongue in it so bad.
And yeah, here we are, tongueless, not dipped. I don't know if that's how you would word that.
Not dipped?
Yeah, not dipped. So garfish is what people think, though.
Garfish or sturgeon.
Sturgeon.
So
Can't really picture what a sturgeon looks like.
Well, I know Jeremy Wade. He caught some sturgeon back in the day in River Monsters. It's like a prehistoric looking beast that has it kind of looks like bones and stuff on the outside of it. They look like dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Honestly, sturgeons do. Look up the lake. I think it's Lake Sturgeon.
Look at that thing, man.
Yeah. You see how it looks like?
Yeah, it has
like a dinosaur.
Yeah, I like how it almost looks like a catfish up front.
Yeah, that's what I think. I thought too. It has the whiskers.
Yeah, screw that thing. I do not want to see that thing swimming at me.
And then you know what a garfish looks like, right? It
Yeah.
has the longer kind of nose.
Yeah, I've seen a couple. When I lived down south, I saw a couple gar and stuff down there. Now, are gar in that lake normally?
Yeah.
Okay.
Garfish and sturgeon. So Samuel de Champlain's description of the creature. So in part 1, when I talked about Samuel de Champlain, when he first discovered the lake, he went over a description of the champ, the sea monster, the sea serpent, lake monster, whatever you want to say.
That's on your shirt, by the way.
Oh yeah,
We haven't even commented on that yet.
New shirt right here, and guess what? This is not from New York.
Yeah.
It's from Amazon.
It's from Amazon. It's not swag from us yet.
No, we'll be working on that.
We're working on it.
So Samuel de Champlain's description of the creature sounds very much like a garfish. I think I mentioned that in part 1 after I went over his description of the sea monster. Many people believe that he was describing a long-nosed garfish.
That would be something he probably never really saw before.
Right, yeah. Which I can go over his description here again. But I just wanted to say the maximum size of a long-nosed garfish is around 6 feet long and 55 pounds.
It's a big fish.
So yeah, that's a pretty decent sized fish. But I don't think that's. I don't know. I guess if it's on the surface and you're out there and you see it, quick glance, you might think that's champ. But I don't know. I don't think you're going to think that's a sea monster.
No, when we go back to that picture that we talked about earlier, that is not a gar.
No.
There's no way I see that picture and I think, that could possibly be a garfish. No way.
Yeah. But I think probably because there's 400 plus sightings, I'm sure a good chunk of those sightings are just somebody seeing a garfish thinking, oh my God, that's champ. There he is.
Yeah, and I remember reading something when I was looking up stuff for the Mothman episode, and they actually did a group study. So they took one group into this big warehouse. They told them all about Mothman, described him in great detail, and then while these people were going through, they left a bang, and basically a guy in a cape ran across this catwalk. All these people described what Mothman looked like, because that's what they heard he'd look like. The guy did not have red eyes, anything like that. They took another group of people through the same thing, but they didn't tell them anything, and these people almost described like Batman, because that's what, in your mind, that's what it goes to, Batman. So I thought that was really interesting. That whole study, they actually got people from out of the country to come in here, so they had no idea what Mothman.
No English.
No English. They were Russian. They weren't Spanish, but I think the Russians, as they say, no English.
Yeah,
awfully angry.
They're a little more grumpy.
I must break you. So, but yeah, I thought that was really interesting, and I was thinking of that today on my way home from work about kind of that. A lot of things it goes with, but I think with Champ, we were talking about Hat Man and how people just, when you get in this scared state and you see something, where's your mind go? Your mind goes right to Freddy Krueger, I feel like. So I feel like you see a garfish, something like that, you've already heard of this lake monster Champ, you've seen the T-shirts, stuff like that.
Yeah, the statues, everything out there, yeah.
That's where your mind goes right away.
Yeah, and I think, too, people out on Lake Champlain, they know the story of the Champ. They're looking for Champ, so anything they see that gives them the slight hope that that's Champ, they're gonna jump on that.
Yeah, you see a turd float by, and that's Champ.
That's Champ or Champ's turd.
Yeah, or Champ's turd. Listen, I left it. Well, we can. No, you know what? We're going to dive into this one. I left a turd at work the other day, and it clogged like the industrial-sized toilet we have at work. And I can tell you right now, when I looked in that bowl, I thought that was Champ for a second. So I can see how people do it. I can see it.
Yeah, I think I already talked about this in the one episode, but I'm pretty sure I saw Champ back when we were playing Legion baseball in States.
You might have, yeah.
When you went in our bathroom,
yeah.
I went in there and there was Champ.
Listen, I have bowel issues at times. I have boo-boo bellies at times. It is what it is.
Well, you should be thanking your bowels. You got some incredible bowels.
I do. I thank them every day. They're in my prayers every night before bed. These bowel movements I leave. They're also in my wife's prayers that they just leave me and never come back.
So going back to the garfish, like I said, the maximum size is around 6 feet, 55 pounds. But those size garfish aren't too common. Typically, they're around 2 to 4 feet long, ranging anywhere, 20, 30 pounds.
Yeah.
So typically, they don't get that big. That's just like a maximum size. That's what you get. Long-nosed garfish lived during the Cretaceous period with dinosaurs 100 million years ago, though. So they are
garfish have been around that long.
They've been around a long time.
Crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What about the rainbow trout?
There are rainbow trout in the lake too.
Were they around during dinosaur period? So just keep going. Just forget I asked.
No.
How do you know? Is this a fact you're stating? Or?
No question mark. So then Samuel de Champlain's description back in 16 whatever. I have seen some 5 feet long, which were as big as my thigh and had a head as large as 2 fists, with a snout 2.5 feet long and a double row of very sharp teeth, dangerous teeth. Its body had a good deal of the shape of the pike, but is protected by scales, of a silvery gray color, and so strong that a dagger could not pierce them, which many people believe he was describing a long-nosed gar.
A long-nosed gar.
And then I want to get into the sturgeon a little bit, because I don't know, ever since watching River Monsters and seeing Jeremy Wade reel in a sturgeon, they just fascinated me.
Yo, that dude's crazy.
He's nuts.
Did you ever see the one? I think he's over in like Africa, and he's hooked onto it, and it gets in the rapids. It's like, well, boys, I gotta go in, and he just jumps in the water and floats down.
Yeah, he's just in there.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah. Because that dude's caught like stingrays and stuff, and he's just like jumping on them.
Well, I think when he caught that stingray, wasn't that the first time they ever like caught a stingray and it gave birth when they had it netted?
Something like that.
It was something they've never seen before in the history.
And that dude can speak like 7 whatever different languages too.
Yeah, no English, so.
Yeah.
Of course.
So I want to talk about the sturgeon. So in August of 2016, a 6'9" dead lake sturgeon was found on the shore of Isle La Motte, Isle La Motte in Lake Champlain, Vermont.
Those people in Vermont have to try and just sound so fancy, don't they?
Well, they're so close to Canada and all the French history of Canada. They
get
they want to be like them, I guess.
Yeah, that and they have Bernie up there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I am once again asking for a financial donation.
A Vermont fish and wildlife biologist named Chet Mackenzie.
No way his name's Chet.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what it says. Chet Mackenzie.
Chet Mackenzie. 2 first names?
Estimated the fish to be one of the largest sturgeons ever seen in modern times. The Fish and Wildlife Warden, Robert Currier, believed the fish weighed closer to 200 pounds.
200 pounds?
So you're talking about close to a 7-foot fish, 200 pounds.
Yeah.
And you looked it up. Like, they look like
they're
dinosaurs.
freaky,
They look like
man.
dinosaurs.
They got like bones sticking out their
Yeah,
side and
they're
their
very
back.
bony. A lot of
Yeah,
bones.
they're weird.
Yeah. So it was transported to Vermont Fish and Wildlife offices in Washington County for medical review. And again, this is a rare occurrence, as the majority are not that big. Most are around, and it's still a big fish, 4 to 6 feet long, weighing somewhere between 30 and 80 pounds. Like that's a big fish.
Yeah, you got 100-pounder.
Yeah.
You got something there.
Yeah. And lake sturgeon can live up to 150 years. So they can live for a long time.
That's a long time.
Yeah. But they average around 50 to 100, which still, I mean, that's like a person.
Yeah.
But man, 150 years? And they're considered endangered in Vermont and threatened in New York.
So you can't even. So they're like catch and release. Can't keep
Yeah,
them or anything?
if you catch them, you got to throw them back. And they are actually bottom feeders. And something that, because I looked this up too, so they're bottom feeders. So like in my mind, I'm like, okay, Lake Champlain is average of 65 feet deep. Deepest part is 400 feet. So like how deep do these things go down to the bottom? And what I found is that they stay close to the shore, and they average around a depth of 15 to 30 feet.
Oh, so they are really close. 15 to 30 feet. Yeah, they don't
so
like
they're
venturing
not
too far out.
So I mean, I don't know if there's like enormously large sturgeons that go out deeper.
Yeah.
Or what? I don't know, but I don't know. I thought that was pretty interesting. So like, I mean, looking at that, I can see majority of sightings being a garfish or a sturgeon. But who knows?
Yeah, that would make sense.
So theories ranging from the fantastical Champ is a 60 million year old prehistoric reptile to Champ is a garfish or a sturgeon. I don't know.
You don't?
I don't know what he could be.
You're supposed to be the expert this episode. You're supposed to know. What do you mean you don't know?
I didn't find him when I was out there.
What did you bring to this episode? You were on scene.
I was on the shore. I didn't go out on the water.
Oh.
Next time I'll go out in the water, and I'll do it live from
A boat with a selfie stick. That's what I
I
want.
got a little kayak out there.
Oh, there you go. Kayak and a selfie stick. What else do you need?
But my kayak might be the 301 shipwreck on the bottom the bottom of
The
Lake
shipwreck.
Champlain. Yeah. But hey, I'm gonna call myself Captain Corey
Captain Corey.
or Captain Beard.
Captain Crumb and Beard.
Crumb and I probably
Make sure you have a cookie out there when you're hanging out.
Yeah, I gotta give myself a cool name.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just Captain
Nothing's as
Corey.
cool as Captain Crumb, though.
Yeah, Captain Crumb the Third.
The turd.
There was one other skeptic opinion of what Champ could be. And this one, I don't know. So 3 scientists at Middlebury College, located in the Vermont hills just east of Lake Champlain,
Believed it was 3 small Mexican men with sombreros wearing a cape
and socks.
and socks floating through Lake Champlain.
So these 3 guys discovered something bigger, taller, longer, and more powerful than a plesiosaur lurking beneath the waters of Lake Champlain. It's called a seiche.
Seiche.
And how you spell it is Seiche. A seiche.
Well, that ain't real.
So basically, a seiche is a standing wave that happens in an enclosed water basin such as a lake.
So they think it's a wave.
They believe that it's a lake or a wave that's moving back and forth between two boundaries that's often caused by meteorological effects such as wind and atmospheric pressure variations, seismic activity, and sometimes other places could be tsunamis. So they believe that it's just this wave that pops up in the middle of the lake, and people are like, "There's Champ."
So they are really like they're going like full dum-dum mode with these people.
Yeah.
Like, these people are so dumb that we're not even saying they saw a fish or a serpent or something that actually swims in the water. We just think they saw the freaking water and thought it was Champ.
Yeah.
Like, we're not even going to give these guys the benefit of the doubt. We think they saw the water.
So
wow, that might be one of the most savage takes I've ever seen. Like, talk about a really kicking the grundle if you, man.
It's just the water.
Yeah, it's just the water, you
What's
dorks.
in the water? It's the water.
Yeah, it is the water.
What's the water?
It's called bubbles, you idiot.
Yeah.
Get to know it. All right, so we have gar, we have sturgeon, we have, I don't know, waves, I guess. So how did this affect the area up around Lake Champlain as far as the people go, maybe some things in the area?
So Champ, like the phenomenon of Champ, really, I think, helped the area surrounding Lake Champlain because it brought in a lot of tourism, really. A lot of attractions, a lot of stores, monuments, statue, all kinds of stuff.
So they just have like statues all around the lake and stuff for Champ.
They do. We drove around to a couple places. I would have liked to get to some more, but I mean our time was kind of limited. But I mean I did see a couple statues here and there, a couple pictures of Champ. So like they make it known that that's their baby, and he's out there.
Yeah, like they have a mascot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Everywhere needs a mascot.
And he is actually the mascot of a team, which I'll go over here.
There we go.
So.
Man, you talk about it being one step ahead.
Yeah.
Buddy, I am like a carpenter that builds stairs. One step ahead.
So although many people are skeptical of Champ, of the sightings, of there actually being anything in Lake Champlain, he's actually now protected by law on both sides of Lake Champlain, just in case.
Like, so the New York side and the Vermont side have laws in place that you cannot, so you can't shoot it? You can't do anything to harm it or what?
Yeah, you can't hurt him. He's safe.
You're not even allowed to take pictures of him. It's illegal.
I mean, as long as you don't hurt him with your pictures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and I think that what I'm about to go over about some of the laws, bills that were passed, honestly, I think it had to do with the Monty photo that was taken.
Okay.
Because it happened within 5 years after the photo of Champ that Sandra Monty took.
Do you think it's because it got people like hot and heavy into Champ then? Like these photos kind of revigorated the areas?
Maybe, yeah.
Like, want to get Champ?
Yeah, it could be. So in 1981, Port Henry, New York, which don't go there because there's nothing. We went there. So the way home from New York, I'm like, all right, Kendra, I want to go to Port Henry, New York. Like, I want to go there.
It is the place to be. There's stuff to do everywhere. I saw it online.
I looked it up. There's a nice big Champ statue. There's all kinds of stores. Like, it's great. It just put me in the doghouse. She's like,
you were never allowed to pick a place.
Yeah, she's like,
again.
I am picking every place we go from here until death. Yeah, so we drive, and it was probably 20 minutes out of our way on the way home. We drive to Port Henry, and let me tell you what, not every, but like, I feel like every other store in the town of Port Henry was boarded up. Nothing there.
So it's just run down crap of a town. So you took her to the ghetto. It's like, come on, honey, I know this beautiful place on Lake Champlain, and it is just the total ghetto.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then we tried. I was like, all right, let's drive over here. So I tried to drive over to this like little like beach entrance, whatever, to the lake.
And some crazy meth head in a tank top and nothing else just chased you down the street.
No, we get in there and it's like this like membership only like campers and like this whole campground.
So kind of the opposite of a meth head chasing you down.
It might have been just a group of meth heads and campers. I don't know.
Good for them. Good for them for making a community at least.
So, I don't know. I'm in a doghouse still from that.
Just like that, Corey is never allowed to pick where they go on vacation.
I'm not allowed to pick, no. So
I read all about it on the Facebook. It looks so cool.
She's like, I thought you looked this up. I'm like, I did. I looked up this store where I wanted to get a T-shirt, but I'm like, they're currently not there right now, and they're only doing online orders.
They're currently not there, and apparently Seconds is a bomb shelter because you can't get into this place if you wanted to.
Yeah. So, anyway, in 1981, Port Henry, New York, declares their waters a safe haven for Champ. And then in 1982...
But God knows Champ would never want to go there, ever.
Yeah, it's a safe haven for Champ, but, yeah.
He's not that desperate.
He doesn't feel that safe there.
No, he would rather be shot at by harpoons than go to this town that Corey took his whole family to.
We didn't even stop. We drove right through it. Did a little loop-de-loop, and then we were
gone.
out. So in 1982, the state of Vermont passes a House resolution protecting Champ. And then in 1983, in New York, both the state assembly and the state senate passed resolutions protecting Champ. So
he had more options besides.
They didn't pass anything in. I mean, I didn't see anything in like Quebec.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, them Canadians are friendly to begin with, buddy. He probably goes up there to get his free donuts.
Hey.
He probably gets his donut, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, bud. Sorry, we didn't have enough donuts for you, bud. We're so sorry." Thank you, Champ.
I thought it was pretty interesting, at least, that there was actually bills passed by the government to protect Champ.
I find it more interesting that you just took your family to vacation in the rundown ghetto of New York.
It was pretty bad.
That's amazing.
I don't even think I'd get out and pee.
That is my favorite. I don't know why you waited till just now to tell me this story. Well, I kind of do, though, at the same time.
So, like I said a little bit when we got into this, Champ is celebrated, whether he exists or not. In Vermont, there's a baseball team known as the Lake Monsters.
The Lake Monsters.
With Champ as their mascot.
Wow. So big onion eyes on that son of a bitch.
Probably.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. And I looked into that a little bit today, and apparently they were... Up until I think it was like 2020 or 2021, they were a minor league team for somebody. But then in 2021, I think it was, they switched to some like
independent league.
Yeah, there's something else now.
So we need to get their hats.
Yeah,
for sure. Or they need to get our hats. Sponsor a team. The Vermont Crackheads.
The Port Henry Crackheads.
The Port Henry Crackheads? It would go, wouldn't it?
A Champ statue sits by the water of Port Henry, New York, which we drove past.
Yeah, don't go to it. It's really there was a guy standing outside it that asked us if we wanted regular meth or laced meth. So I mean, they're kind of friendly.
And then, like I said, images of Champ appear throughout the area of local businesses. T-shirts. I mean, I really didn't go into that many places, but I went in a couple in some different areas that we went to, and I didn't see any Champ T-shirts.
It's graffitied on every wall in Port Henry. They have some really artistic kids up there, but them boys just get in trouble.
And then there's a historic marker that sits on the shore of Clinton County in honor of everyone's favorite lake monster.
Loch Ness. I mean, Champ. Yeah.
And then in the 21st century, there was actually a lot of sightings in the 21st century, and I guess they said that there's been like double-digit sightings each summer, which eventually prompted interest from a Japanese television TV show. I guess.
Please tell me what this place is called.
I have no idea.
Come on, you need to know.
There's been stuff on the Today Show, NBC's Unsolved Mysteries, and Fox Network's sightings.
Oh, man, Unsolved Mysteries. If that didn't solve it, this
It's
mystery will never be solved.
Yeah. In 2003, the Discovery Channel did a special on America's Loch Ness Monster, and he's been written about all over Discover magazine and in scholarly journals. And there's actually an upcoming film and book series titled Lucy and the Lake Monster about Champ, where Lucy, who is an orphan girl believing in Champ, and I believe her and her grandfather go out like trying to find this monster on Lake Champlain.
That is not what I thought the episode was going to be about. I kind of thought it was going to be about a woman that falls in love and makes love to the lake monster.
Oh, okay.
But
my mind was going somewhere else.
I think
like even deeper than that. I was picturing a lake monster being a different type of monster.
Oh, golly. Either way, I am really happy to hear it's going to be about a young girl and her grandfather. That's better than what I came up with, or God knows it's better what you came up with. God, what's wrong with you? First you take your family vacation in Port Henry.
Yeah, don't take yours there.
I won't. I'm going to do my research beforehand.
Well, I just had to check it out to make sure I could cross it off the map.
Yeah. Consider it crossed.
Yeah, it's done. It's blacked out.
Yeah. So does that take us? Is that it? Is that on to the folklore score?
Yeah, I mean that's it for as far as the information that I have goes. So now we got to get down to the nitty gritty.
Nitty gritty. Folklore score time. Snap. So going into today, we have three things on the folklore score. So we got the Kraken, the Mothman, and the Hatman. And that's the order they go in. So the Kraken is a 72 and the Mothman is a 71, which puts them both at the spine tinglers. And the Hatman at a 61 puts it at an intriguing tale. So before we do this, where do you think Champ's going to line up? I mean, going off what I definitely think Champ is going to pretty much come in that 4 spot under Hatman. I think so. I could be wrong. I don't know.
I think he's going to be above Hatman.
You think he's going to be above Hatman?
I think he's going to be somewhere close to Kraken and Mothman, but I don't know if he's going to be above them or below them.
We'll see. Time will tell. All right. Are you ready to get to the grading?
Let's do it. I got a 28.
I got a 23. That's putting your boy pretty low.
I know. It's kind of.
What am I, like 51?
Yeah.
Look at your face is like, I think it's 51. Sounds about right.
Well, yeah, you get 23. I had 28. 20 plus 20 is 40. Plus 11 is 51.
There you go.
51.
Bada bing, bada boom.
So I guess I'll go over mine then if you want to go over yours. So spookiness, I gave it a 4.
I gave it a 2 for spookiness because I guess spookiness to me is just different. You know? I don't know. He's not spooky.
Yeah.
He's seen like once a year for 400 years. It's not super spooky.
Yeah. And I gave it a 4. It gives a slight chill, but it's nothing that's too crazy. Historical, cultural significance, I gave it a 10 because, I mean, it was pretty well rooted over the last 400 years and some pretty significant, I guess, people.
Yeah. I gave it an 8. I think it was pretty high. I just think when you start looking at higher than that, I look into Bigfoot is culturally significant. So that's kind of where my mind goes. But I think an 8's 10. I could see either one of them. for believability, I think we both had a 6 on there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's kind of right in the middle of being believable or not. Uniqueness?
I gave it a 5, and I guess I gave it a 5 because I put it's 5 for it's moderately unique. I mean, there's the Loch Ness Monster, who is, I mean, ultimately described as the same type of creature.
Yeah, and I almost think Champ is he's like the redheaded stepchild to the Loch Ness Monster, you know?
Yeah.
Like, not everybody knows Champ. I feel like you say the Loch Ness Monster, everybody knows what you're talking about.
But hey, during the late 1800s and early 1900s, Champ was
He was that.
bigger than the Loch Ness
Bigger.
Monster.
Bigger.
Just saying. Threat level, I gave it a 3 for low threat.
I gave it a 1 because it's never shown any threats to any person, really.
I just gave it a 3 because I guess I thought, there's always that chance.
If
he's out there, I don't know, he could do something. Or maybe if out of the 300 shipwrecks that are laying in the bottom of Lake Champlain, maybe 1 or 2 of them were caused by Champ. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, so overall it gives him a score of 51, which makes him a curious oddity. This urban legend presents curious stories with varying threat levels, offering listeners a glimpse into the unknown while balancing elements of suspense and intrigue. Okay, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if that really describes Champ. Champ's just different than an urban legend, I think, most of the other ones.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I look at Champ as the friendly serpent, you know? If I see him, I just want to pet him.
And honestly, that's how he's depicted in a lot of the pictures, a lot of the statues I saw.
Yeah.
He just has a big smile on his face.
Yeah,
a lot of,
that's what I picture.
The stuffed animals, you can buy stuffed animals in different stores, and it's just this happy-go-lucky, Puff the Magic Dragon type of creature.
Exactly. That's what I picture, Puff the Magic Dragon. Exactly it. Yeah. So, that's funny. But yeah, so I think I guess a curious oddity would be okay for him. I don't know. Seems a little. It's a hard one. Yeah, I guess with that, with our new, it's a new category. We got curious oddity. With that, that's the end of the episode. So that was pretty solid. That was a fun 2-parter.
That was pretty solid.
Yeah.
I know personally, I know I already talked to you about it. I want to stay out of the water for a while. I kind of want to stay on land, so I know the next couple topics that I want to kind of research and look at are going to be boots on land.
Yeah, and I know your next topic, you could maybe be looking through a mirror, but we're not gonna get ahead of ourselves here. But that'll bring us to our next episode, which I'm gonna take lead on this one. It's been a while. We've done what? This will be 5 episodes. I've only had the lead on the one. So folks, get ready. Because it could be terrible or it could be good. We'll figure it out.
Or somewhere in between.
Yeah, somewhere in between. So join us next week as we dive into the world of Annabelle and Robert the Doll as we talk about some of the dolls that give the spooks through American history. Next week, haunted and possessed dolls, which, just a little hint, did you ever go on eBay and type that in? There are way too many haunted and possessed dolls you can just buy on eBay for $20.
I mean, I know just going to different not thrift store, but antique stores and stuff, and just seeing some of the dolls there. It's that doll there.
Yeah.
It's haunted.
That can stay right where it's at.
And that's the same way when we're looking at houses, when we're out house searching and stuff. I look online. I'm okay, built in 1900. I'm that's a haunted house.
Yeah. Yeah, we live in a 100-year-old house, and I haven't had any hauntings in it yet.
Until the Hat Man shows up naked.
Well, hey, we already talked about this. He better be worried about what I'm wearing.
What if you're both naked?
Yeah. It'd be like in Scary Movie 2 when the clown grabs him from under the bed, and then the clown's trying to cry him out. It's, where are you going? And pulls him back in.
You're going to be grabbing a hold of Hat Man.
Pulling him back in.
Where are you going, Hattie?
Yeah. Tickle, tickle. No. All right. So with that, it brings us to the end of the episode. Guys, thank you for your support. Please like and subscribe. We're on Facebook. we're on Twitter now, or X. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're on X now.
And Threads.
That's news to me that we're on Threads.
We are on Threads.
Threads. All right, cool. I'm wearing Threads. We're on Threads. Everything's good. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X,
TikTok.
YouTube, TikTok. Yeah, we got a little bit of everything. So make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure, if you really enjoyed this episode, go down and give us a 5-star review. It really helps the cast. Download the cast. Download our episodes. Kind of helps with us being able to know the interest we're getting and everything. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your damn grandma about us, because I'm sure she'll like us, because old women love me.
They love me, too. They love the beards.
They do. It's something about it, man. Old women, I feel like I'm way too excited about old women loving me.
Ease it up just a little bit. Just turn it down. Turn it down just a little.
It is what it is. So with that, yeah, I think I covered everything. I guess I got an empty beer glass, and I'm on out of here.
I'm going to finish this Bush Light, and then I'm out.
Bush Light?